I love the cheese, and then it just kind of melts all together. It feels like you're eating a goat cheese puff pastry, but mixed with naan. It's just perfect.
Yeah. It's the spices in the goat cheese make it a little bit brighter. Like there's a little bit of black pepper, there's some green onion, there's some ginger. It just helps it pop.
Hi, I'm Jenn Tanaka, and this is Dish with Jen. As a food and travel writer, I meet chefs from all over the world and taste incredible dishes. On this show, we'll explore some of my favorite places. Behind each dish is a fascinating story. We'll discover what inspired those ratatouille moments. You know, where a taste transports you back to a special time in your life. I'll introduce you to the chefs, and we'll watch as they make their signature dishes. Today we'll meet Chef Shachi Mehra, co-owner of Adya at Anaheim Packing District, which is a historic packing house built in 1919. The space in Orange County was converted into a food hall in 2014, and Adya was one of its first restaurants. Chef Shachi is an award-winning Indian-American chef who grew up in New Jersey. She attended University of Texas at Austin and even studied pre-med. But then she found cooking. Now she's an advisor for the James Beard Legacy Network program. At Adya, Chef Shachi makes delicious goat cheese stuffed naan. The dish actually helped her win Food Network's Chopped, and it's also a bestseller at the restaurant. It's inspired by her family, who called her the Sandwich Queen. So how did you get the nickname the Sandwich Queen?
So I love sandwiches. I love making sandwiches. I love eating sandwiches. They are my desert island stuck. What are you gonna eat for the rest of your life? Sandwiches. And I was responsible for making all of our lunches when we were young. So my sister, my brother, and I used to pack our lunches. Everyone had very individual needs as what they wanted and what kind of snack they get. So that's where it comes from.
Now, what was your favorite sandwich growing up?
My favorite sandwich when I was growing up was lettuce, cheese, tomato with just mayo and salt and pepper. We grew up vegetarian, so we just had a lot of that type of sandwich. My brother had that sandwich, but without tomatoes.
So is that kind of how your inspiration for the goat cheese naan that you serve at Adya came about? Were these sandwiches?
So goat cheese naan is actually like my love of sandwiches, but in this case, grilled cheese. I do love a good grilled cheese and naan. And basically, like for me, all the things that I do are part of who I am and how I got here. And I grew up in New Jersey. I ate a lot of grilled cheese, for example, but I also grew up eating and knowing Indian food and Indian culture. And I wanted to find a way to make grilled cheese but Indian.
Is that how your RFC chicken sandwich also came about?
So the RFC chicken sandwich is actually, I will give full credit where it's due. My brother loves fried chicken. He was like a big fried chicken guy, and there's a snack called bhujia that we all love. And it's like this crunchy little savory thing that you can eat like on toast, you can eat it with yogurt, you can just eat it out of the bag. And my family, like my cousins are obsessed with it, my brother's obsessed with it, I love it. And I thought about it and I was like, this would be so good on fried chicken. So it was a combination of like making the breading out of that and then using the Spice Girls for the mayo and then talking to Dean from OC Baking and he made us a special chili bun.
Wow.
So it's just come together as so good.
And how long did it take for you to develop this?
It took a while actually, just to get the breading right. Like I knew what I wanted the mayo to be like, and that was sort of easier. But getting the breading to where it tasted like the bhujia, so it has the real intensity of flavor there, but it's also still like familiar to people, like that no fried chicken. Getting there took me a little while.
Oh,
there's a lot of R&D.
And is that a flavor that you, in Jaipur, where your family's from, that people are very familiar with.
So bhujia is actually made in Rajasthan, which is where my family's from, and that snack is made, it's like a very typical snack from there.
Oh, I love that. So it's like going back to your roots back in India. And then combining that with your American love of fried chicken. So going back to that goat cheese naan, you dominated on Food Network's Chopped, and that was one of the main dishes that kind of threw you into the winner's circle. Can you tell me about that?
I think the thing with Chopped, our episode theme was cheese. So it was the title of the episode's Ooey Gooey Cheese, and we had a ton of weird cheese stuff. And I love cheese. There isn't traditionally a lot of cheese in Indian food. Take my love of cheese and apply it to Indian food. It really helped me look at these ingredients that don't really go together and be able to create something that's still Indian in its core and its identity, but still has weird cheese ingredients.
And do people recognize you from your appearance on Chopped at all?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. So we have a poster right at the front of the restaurant, and a lot of times, this actually happened yesterday, I'll look out and somebody will be on a table and they're pointing at me, but they weren't pointing at me to me, they were talking to somebody and saying, I think that's her. And I happen to look up at the same time and they're like, is that you? And I say, yeah, and then they're really excited.
So it's a celebrity chef moment.
It's really fun for me. I've taken a bunch of pictures with the poster. Where somebody will be here and be like, oh, my sister loves this show, or my kid loves this show, can we take a picture? So it's super fun.
And I love the char that you got from the tandoori oven. It just really adds to the texture. That crunch.
Because you have crunchy bits and soft bits, melty bits.
It reminds me of a pizza. The pizza crust, where you have all those textures and you have that little bit of char, but it just all comes together.
A lot of people are often surprised that it's stuffed inside. A lot of people assume it's like pizza and the goat cheese is on top.
Right.
So when you tell them it's stuffed, they're like, oh, it's stuffed. Whoa, that's different.
Well, I like it too because it really warms the cheese without burning it. I feel like if you put it on top, the texture would be kind of a little different because it wouldn't be hot, you know? So this really comes together in a great way. Ooh, so messy in the best way too.